Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. So some of y'all like, what happened, Dreamers Pro? I thought you was going to be back on the 18th, son. A lot of people started, man, people was messaging us all over the place. Where y'all at, man? Where you guys go to? And I'm like, yo, I'm on break, man. I'm on break. But a lot of people have been like, yo, come back, make content, man. Come back. So here we are. You know what I mean? Here we are. We still on vacay. But I said, let me just pop out real quick and do a quick video or two here. And then we're gonna disappear into the shadows before Monday, to get back on Monday. But anyway, so I've been watching out there, seeing what people have been talking about. I'm not going to lie, I've been having a fantastic break here, having a great time with the family, and it's been awesome. But some things have been happening out there, right? A lot of clown stuff has been taking place out there. People saying some crazy stuff in media, looking for who they're gonna get them to talk about them and all of that. I've been watching people and a lot of the buffoonery that's been taking place. But I came across a clip yesterday that was centered on some comments that were about Kobe Bryant. Right, and it's from the channel Tyler Rose TV. So, as y'all know, we were talking a lot about Kobe before the break. A lot of people were trying to ride the Kobe Bryant wave, talking about, well, if Kobe did this, I could do this too. NBA players are just basically trying to rewrite their history. The disrespect had reached the fever pitch, and a lot of us started pushing back. Kobe supporters came out in droves, man. Even people that were not Kobe Bryant supporters, fans of his, came out and started defending Kobe. Like, what is this? What is this nonsense? What's going on here? Like, what's all of this buffoonery that's going on? Especially after that Bleacher Report top 100 list, right? So people have been pushing back. People have been, sticking up for Kobe, which is a great thing, right? Which is a great thing. So this guy here, he apparently came across some sound from one of Kobe Bryant's teammates on the Los Angeles Lakers, who goes by the name of Samaki Walker. Now, if those of you remember who that is, good for y'all. I remember who he is clearly. He played with, I think Shaq was on the team at that time. I forgot what specific years, but I remember him being teammates with Kobe. I remember seeing them together in games and all of that, right? So apparently he was being interviewed, and he was asked to react to these NBA players that are now trying to rewrite their history and make it seem like as if, I could have been as good as Kobe. If I was given the opportunity as a Kobe Bryant had, I could have been Kobe Bryant too, right? And he basically shut all of that down. He was like, y'all are bugging. Y'all are bugging. Like, y'all would know you would not have been Kobe, because it's not as just simple as, oh, you airdrop me onto the Lakers team and I go on to win championships. No, because it's not just about that. You got to what about the intangibles? What about the hard work and all of that? It takes more than just averaging similar numbers to Kobe Bryant to be able to say, oh, I can do what he did. And he's like, he was shutting all of his former peers down, like, knock it off, and actually calling them out by name, like T-Mac and Gilbert Arenas and all of them. I'm like, this is what we need, and we need it done with this type of energy, right? This is how it needs to be set. So what I want to do is I want to play what Samaki Walker had to say here about these NBA players trying to rewrite their history and ride the Kobe Bryant wave. And I'm going to come back and continue on with the show. Take a listen to what he had to say here.
What I laugh is that now everybody got a platform to kind of control their own narrative, right? So everybody want to come back now and rewrite their own narrative about, well, what I could have did and did this. Well, damn it, do it when you had the chance. That's as simple as that. And if you didn't, shut the I'm calling cap. Let me tell you something. I love T-Mac. T-Mac, one of my favorite players. In fact, yes, he was as talented and potentially even more talented than Kobe from a pure talent standpoint. And we keep talking about this Mamba mentality, but see, we seem to have amnesia when it comes to really talking about what separates players.
Talk about it.
See, Kobe, again, played 20 years because of how he treated his body. It was the consistency. You heard T-Mac and you hear Gilbert and all these other guys talk about it, how Kobe approached. But yet all of a sudden, now I want my ego stroke. Now all of a sudden, we just going to forget about all that. Hell no. Kobe was that guy. I told you, I used to sit and watch this guy for 20 minutes, roll the ball out, go to all 5 spots on the court, no trainer, nobody there, play the game through his imagination and imagine and putting players in place. Guys wasn't doing that. Like, chill out with that, fam. Would T-Mac challenge Shaq the way he did? So we talking mentality now. Would that happen? I doubt it. Kobe had the mentality to bring the best out of the Diesel and carried that and wasn't willing to be confrontational with nobody. It was a mentality thing. So if we're going to continue to try to separate mentality from talent or try to group it all together as if, talent is all about talent. If you just look at pure talent, yeah, he can do everything. T-Mac can do anything Kobe can do from a talent perspective.
Yep.
But when it comes down to mentality, Kobe's health for 20 years also has to do with his approach and how he carried himself off the court. The methodical training, the details. It's the details.
And people not thinking too, like the time was different. Back in the days, the teams were scoring 95 total points. You know what I'm saying? So when Kobe dropped 60, you understand he dropping 60 and 90 points. Like it was different.
Or 70 after 3 on Dallas.
Right. Like it's different.
Yeah, dog. I'm tired of hearing it. When Booker scores 70 and then Donovan Mitchell scores 60 and he's the Kobe. I'm like, shut up, man.
Come on with all that, bro.
So you heard his comments. Let me tell you where I think a lot of this comes from. I think a lot of it comes from jealousy and envy. I think a lot of it comes from the fact that these guys are not at peace with what they did. When you are at peace with your career, or not even just basketball in general, when you can look back and say, hey, man, I did the best that I could. I worked as hard as I could. Then you don't have any regrets. You don't need to reach and pull out these what if scenarios. Well, if I did what that guy did. Whenever you start doing that, it shows that a part of you is not at peace with what you did. And a part of you feels like you could have done more. But instead of owning up to that fact, you now try to paint realities where it's like, oh, well, if I had what that guy had, then I could. No. And that's what a lot of these guys have been trying to do. They're not at peace with their careers, so they're using Kobe Bryant as a stepping stone to say, well, look, Kobe could have did this. Kobe could have. I could have did what Kobe didn't do if he put me in that similar position. When they know damn well they would have never said no crazy stuff like that had the man been alive. You know how I know that? Because they never said it. They never said it. They probably felt this in their hearts for a very, very, very long time, but they never publicly came out and said that because Kobe would have been like, excuse me, what? And I think that's one of the reasons a lot of people are upset with these guys, because like, not only are you saying crazy stuff, but the fact that you're saying it about a guy who can't defend himself and you never said it when he was here causes a lot of people to lose respect for you. It's like, because you're talking about a guy that cannot defend himself. If you want to draw parallels, why don't you talk about somebody that's currently alive and say, oh, if you put me in this guy's shoes, I can do it. And then we can sit back and watch that guy respond to you and be like, yo, knock it off. So a lot of people are viewing this as sucker because you're talking about a guy that's not here to defend himself. There are a lot of NBA players that you can look at and be like, man, if you put me in his position, I could have did what he did. I could have did what he did. And then those guys who are still around could call you out and be like, bro, you're bugging. You and I were not on the same level. You and I were not the same player. But to do it with a guy that's not here makes y'all look like suckers. That's just the reality of it all. That's the reality that's the sucker element in all of this. You're talking about a guy that's not here to defend himself. And when the guy was here, we didn't hear a peep out of these dudes. A peep. Nothing. So that's why a lot of these guys are upset, man. And I appreciate Samaki Walker for putting it down the way and giving it up the way he did, because that's exactly how it needs to be said. So I know some of y'all like, I knew Charles wasn't going to be able to stay away. He said he'd be back on the 18th, but here he is again on the 16th. I knew that, brother, because first of all, that's a compliment. That's a compliment, because you're saying that Son is dedicated. Son is willing to cut his vacation short. Son is willing to interrupt his vacation to create content. That, to me, that's a huge play. It shows that I'm ready to work hard, right? But people have just been hitting us up, man. Did you hear what this guy said? Did you hear what that guy said? Where's Dreamer Pro? I woke up this morning, looked at one of the comments, and somebody literally wrote, one of our subscribers, where are you? And I was like, nah, we got to come back. We got to come back. But during our absence, man, I've been having a great time on my holidays. But I've been following a lot of the stuff that's been going on. But yesterday, something happened that caught me off guard. Apparently, Stephen A. Smith did a guest appearance on Gil's Arena. Now, you guys know that Stephen A. Smith had already been on that arena, on that show with the other guys, McCann, Martin, and all of these guys. So I was surprised to see him pop up again. So when I clicked on the video, it was him, Brandon Jennings, Gilbert Arenas, and I think that was it, and the moderator, right? So I was like, okay, this seems like an impromptu thing, something that just popped up. And y'all know Gil has been going through some stuff over there. I haven't spoken to Gil since then, and I don't want to be chatting about that kind of stuff on the internet because I think that's a very serious situation. But anyway, so Stephen A. Smith was there, and it was a very, very, very long segment. He discussed a lot of things. Kobe Bryant and LeBron compared to Michael Jordan. Should LeBron be upset with the Lakers? What is his expectations for the Lakers this season? How does he view the current NBA? All of these different stuff. But they got to the part where they asked him about the infamous altercation or confrontation, however you want to describe it, between himself and LeBron last season at that Lakers game, I think at the end of the third quarter. We all spoke about it. It was a viral moment. And Stephen A. Smith had already gone on afterwards and responded to that. So I was a bit surprised that they brought it up again, to be quite honest with you. But they brought it up again, and Stephen A. Smith essentially revealed that he will never, ever speak to LeBron James in life after their confrontation. So for those of you who didn't hear what he had to say, I want to play his comments for you now. They want to come back and react to what Stephen A. Smith had to say. Take a listen to him here.
So when you were in the arena earlier this year, talked about a situation with you and Bron in regard to some comments you made about him and Bronny.
Yep.
You spoke at length about it.
Yep.
Bron went on Pat McAfee's show, also addressed the situation. But I got to know now, as it stands, what's the situation with you and LeBron, and what's the relationship like?
There's no situation. There's no relationship. He doesn't like me, and I don't like him.
Still, can we mediate? Can we increase the?
There's
fee?
nobody that can mediate.
Okay.
It's okay. I would tell you that what I won't do is spend time the one thing that I would like to say is that I don't talk about him unless I'm asked. Now, some people say, well, why are you talking about him? Because I was asked. And this is what I do for a living. So how the hell am I going to get away with saying no comment? That doesn't work coming from Stephen A. It might work coming from somebody else. It doesn't work coming from me. But I have no desire to talk about him at all. He is, in my mind, the second greatest player in the history of basketball, who is a 4-time champion, a 4-time league MVP, has been an incredible ambassador for the game of basketball. His respect has been earned, not given, and nobody can deny that. But that's the basketball player, not the man. And all I would say is people don't know the things that have happened behind the scenes, things that have been said, who they've been said to, the kind of things that have been engaged in an effort to hurt me, along with contemporaries and others. There's a lot of I know that I don't say. And there's a reason that I feel the way that I do. And the last straw was him approaching me and turning the Bronny thing into something about me attacking somebody's family when it was him I was talking about, not Bronny. And then to go on the Pat McAfee show, which comes directly on after my show, on the channel that I work on, to insult me. Now, people could get into all kind of components that come with it and all of that other stuff. I have nothing to say. I'm a professional. I represent ESPN. I now represent SiriusXM. But most importantly, I represent myself. And I'm never going to denigrate any employer, any partner, or myself by getting into anything excessively, unnecessarily when it comes to him or anybody else. I'm going to do my job. I'm going to cover the game of basketball. But if I never, ever speak to him again in life, that will be okay. And I'm good with it. And that doesn't, and I want to say, I'm not encouraging anybody else to feel that way about him. His peeps, you know, other people that have a relationship with him, players, executives, coaches, all that stuff, this is me and him. I don't want to influence anybody else's opinion about him. But if we never speak again in life, me and him, I am perfectly fine with that. But I'm man enough where if he ever wanted to speak to me, I would. But it wouldn't be the most pleasant conversation, at least initially. And that's just where I stand with it, meaning no disrespect. But there's a lot of things that have happened that he don't know I know. And that was the final straw. So that's where I'm at with it. People could take whatever they want to or whatever, but I'm not playing. I'm dead serious. You know, it was a lot has happened, and those 2 moments was the last straw. And that's where I'm at.
Excellent. So you heard what Stephen A. Smith had to say. What are my thoughts about this? You know what this Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James situation reminds me of? It reminds me of two grimy dudes that ran into each other. Because I view Stephen A. Smith as a grimy ass, you know what, and I view LeBron James the same way. And this is what happens when you have 2 grimy dudes. They just intersect with one another. A whole bunch of nonsense occurs, right? LeBron approaches Stephen A. Smith at a basketball game in front of all of those people, knowing damn well Stephen A. Smith cannot do anything about it, knowing damn well you're going to make a scene, a spectacle out of that stuff. And he responds, and he goes out there and does that, right? Then a few weeks later, Kevin Gates, he was sitting front row, chest out and everything. He act like he ain't even see him. And he said worse, right? So that's the sucker stuff I be talking about. He then goes on the Pat McAfee show to troll Stephen A. Smith, and then, you know, which Stephen A. Smith alluded to. So you got that aspect of it. Then you got Stephen A. Smith, who be sneak dissing people. He will say a bunch of nice things about you and then start trashing you, right? He'll say, I love you, this and this and this, and then tell you why you ain't all of this and all of that. Then he'll be like, I can never stand LeBron and blah, 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 blah. I'm never talking to him. But if he wants to talk, I'm like, this is what happens when these 2 type of individuals run into one another. You get this. Now, I wish he would have elaborated on all of this sucker stuff that LeBron did in the background that he was referring to. I wish he would have told some of us that, so we would understand just how deep their beef goes, right? But what can you expect from these 2 guys? Stephen A. Smith said he would never make things personal with anybody. Then he proceeded to make it personal with Kyrie Irving. Then he had a situation with Kevin Durant. So this is the type of individual. This is the 2 type of characteristics we're dealing with here. Right? This is the 2 type of characteristics. They both just do funny stuff, man. The 2 of them. And that's why the 2 of them don't see eye to eye. That's why the 2 of them don't see. There's no like direct thing. Oh, let me say this to you directly. None of that. It's always, let me couch it this way. And Stephen A. Smith been sneak dissing LeBron for a very long time. LeBron James apparently been doing stuff behind the scenes about him a very long time. That's just how they are. If you listen to conversations from like, okay, Stephen A. Smith or Charles Barkley describing issues when he had with Kobe Bryant, Kobe ain't doing none of this weirdo. Oh, I'm gonna go around the corner. I'm gonna throw some pebbles at your feet behind the bush. He's not doing that. Kobe will call you directly, and he said it. After that situation with Kobe Bryant, when Charles Barkley said what Kobe did was selfish from refusing to shoot in that game 7, Kobe called him directly that night. And then after he called him, he came on his show and talked about it directly to his face. Same thing with Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith will say something. Kobe will call him up direct. Yo, what up? Straight to the point. Ain't no, oh, I heard what you said. I'm going to be scheming on you in the corner in the bathtub, sending text messages to my goons at 2 a.m. in the morning. Make sure you put some banana peels in front of his office, and when he walks out the car or whatever, he not doing none of that. But when you have these 2 type of individuals and this is how they move, this is what you get. You get these kind of antics. It's a circus show. And both of them are part of it. That's the reality of it. That's the reality. One likes to sneak dish you and dish you in the shadows. One will say something nice about you and then dish you in person, in public. This is how they move, man. This is how, and I think it's a match made in heaven. Stephen A. Smith talking about, I would never like to. He loved every second of it because he gave him an opportunity to go out there and discuss it. He loved every second of it. Every second of it. What Stephen A. Smith doesn't say doesn't matter and all of this stuff, but they hear everything that he said. They watch this dude every day. I don't know where these guys have the time to be turning on ESPN First Take and watching them but they watch everything that he says. So Stephen A. Smith is this, Stephen A. Smith is that, yet all of these guys watch him. All of them. So this don't surprise me at all. At all, at all, at all. This is just how they move, man. When you get 2 type of dudes that have these characteristics, this is what you get. A whole bunch of just nonsense and twerking and hollering and screaming and pouring honey all over each other's bellies and sparks flying. One's flying, cups falling, tables shaking. This is what you get.